Good morning. It is 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. I call this meeting of the Economic Development Authority Commission to order. Item number 1 is roll call. We do have a quorum of members present. Item 2.1, EDA August 12th, 2025 minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3.1, administrative activities for August 2025.
All right, Commissioners and President Mark Graff, you have the report in your packet. I will just note a few items. Note under the Section 8 and Public Housing Program, staff attended training for the Housing Opportunity through Modernization Act of 2016, which everyone calls HOTMA for short. I've started updating both policies for the implementation of that. So this law was passed in 2016, but it's been on hold. It keeps getting kicked down the road, and finally they're starting to implement parts of it, and more will be implemented or is supposed to be implemented January 1st, 2026. So now that it's actually moving forward, I'm updating the policies for those changes, and it's just changing some of the way we do our rent calculation for the two programs. So the policies will come to you for approval at a later date once I get through those updates. Note under the EDA fund, as you know, we approved some fund transfers last month, so there was a very large increase due to that. With the proceeds from the sale of Garden Terrace moved into the EDA fund. Under the Home Buyer Assistance Loan Program, 1 new application was received. Under the Get It Ready Loan Program, 1 loan closed in the amount of $20,000. End of staff report.
Thank you. If there's no comments or questions, I'll make a motion to approve the administrative activities report for August of 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4.1, EDA September 9th, 2025 claims list. And I had looked at it. I did not have any questions.
Motion to approve the EDA September 9th, 2025 claims list.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5.1 is commercial property rehab loan for Ulm LLC. Commissioner Kalk has recused herself from this discussion. That does not leave us with a quorum, so this will be tabled until the next meeting. Item 5.2, approved 2026 EDA budget.
Commissioners, this is a budget very similar to the previous years. The levy amount can't go up. We've been capped at $117,000 for years. It is a deficit budget because of the loan programs mostly. Obviously, those are a large amount that go out as those programs are not self-funding yet. Other than that, there really are no changes in the budget really from the previous year. So unless you have any specific questions.
Who determines the cap?
The state.
Okay, thank you. And I guess my next question is, would we benefit budget-wise if it was increased? Or would it not make a difference? I mean, it is where it's at, kind of.
I don't know that it would make a huge difference at this point. I mean, obviously, more money is always good, but I think we'd also have to evaluate what we use the funds for to make sure we're not using that levy for something that it's not qualified for. I don't know like the loan programs, I don't know that they could be funded by that levy amount. I think that has to be internal funds.
Thank you, Nicole.
We are going to be doing the strategic planning and going through that process. Is this budget able to be modified at some point, or are we stuck with what we did vote on today?
It is part of the city budget. and they will approve that at the next council, the prelim anyway. So at that point, the budget can't be increased at all. It could be decreased, so it could change, but it just can't go up at all.
Okay. So we could move funds from one thing to another?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you probably have a little more wiggle room than the city does, just because your levy isn't supporting the whole budget. So you could probably increase and decrease things, because we wouldn't be changing the levy amount.
Okay. Commissioners, other questions?
I don't at this time. I will offer the resolution to approve the 2026 EDA budget as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or
Yes,
questions?
I'll offer the resolution. I apologize.
Okay. Discussion or questions? Director Breckel, please call the roll.
Commissioner Christian,
Yes.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Reinhardt Kalk,
Yes.
President Markgraf.
Yes, that motion carries. Item 6.1, Memorandum of Understanding with Mankato EDA.
Give me 1 second. The state of Minnesota started a new rental assistance program called Bring It Home Rental Assistance. And we at this time, our agency issues Section 8 vouchers. We administer those for Brown County, Minnesota. And we are underutilizing those vouchers at this time, so we weren't interested in participating in another rental assistance program because we're doing just fine with what we have. However, the Mankato EDA has a great need for additional rental assistance in their area. And there are a few other counties that are not in our area, in our region, that are not participating in this program. So the Mankato EDA is asking us and those other counties to enter into a memorandum of understanding with them so they can apply for the new rental assistance and administer the program on our behalf, just to have more rental assistance available in the region as a whole. If approved, the memorandum of understanding would be effective October 1st, 2025, and would renew with each grant agreement under the Bring It Home program. If we, at any time in the future, decide we do want to administer this program, we can get out of this memorandum of understanding. But as long as we're not planning to, at this time, we'd like to turn our vouchers or our assistance over to the Mankato EDA to administer. The memorandum of agreement is attached, and if approved, we would be giving Chris, as the executive director, authorization to sign the agreement so that Mankato can apply for this assistance on our behalf. There's no cost to us, there's no staff time involved. It's all on the Mankato EDA to handle it from there. So.
You answered my question of, we have unused vouchers, why do we need this? But this makes sense, and I like being able to work with other EDAs and helping Southern Minnesota be stronger.
All right, if there's no other questions, I would make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Mankato EDA and the new Ulm EDA, and authorizing the executive director to sign the agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7.1, Economic Development Activity Report.
I will just point out a few items here. Chris and I have been doing some demos with a few AI platforms. That is something we have put into the 2026 EDA and city budget, looking at doing a 50-50 split for the cost of that if we move forward with one of the platforms. On our end, we would be using it to track economic development impact of events in our community. They can show us where people came from, how far did they travel, money spent while they were here, hotel stays, things like that. You know, did they come here for an event but stay a few extra days as long as they were here to do some additional sightseeing or shopping or that sort of thing. Would be a useful tour for the chamber as well when they're seeking sponsors for their events, because you can see they came here for spiking in the streets, and after that they went to McDonald's or they went to Walmart or they went to Taco John's, whatever. And so then they can take that data and show those businesses that that event brought people to their business, so maybe next year you'd like to be a sponsor. Those are the sorts of things that would be used for. Park and Rec would be able to use it to track the economic impact of baseball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, gymnastics, things like that, people coming to our indoor pool. Chris, do you have anything to add on that?
I mean, it's just a good tool when we look at retention and attraction, and then specifically on the city side for Park and Rec, you know, looking at underutilized or overutilized parks. You know, we always hear, you know, we need more parks, but, you know, are there parks that aren't being used, and how do we utilize those? So it's just being able to track a lot of that information. And when we look at events, you know, what is that economic impact for the city? You know, we have all these events, we put them out there, you know, we close the streets, it does impact businesses and travel, but is it worth it? Does it pay itself off when businesses thrive and what they spend?
Couple of questions. I'm assuming that they do this all through cell phone data?
Mm-hmm.
And credit card.
And credit card?
Mhm.
Okay. And, you know, I personally am kind of on the fence on these types of things, but, you know, it is something that so many other communities are doing. And so I would be supportive of it.
We don't get any personal data. I mean, we wouldn't know that Andrea came to New Ulm and used her credit card here. It's I don't know what the word for it. Aggregate. Thank you, Mike. Aggregate information. So it's, you know, it doesn't drill down into someone's privacy quite, you know, Big Brother type, but
And the fun thing is whether we have the data or not, someone's still collecting it.
It is being collected. I do agree. And then as far as like kind of reporting and parsing, would we be getting kind of raw data that you guys would have to analyze, or is it kind of, can you set it up to generate the reports that you want?
they automatically generate reports.
And
On
3-day
a
lag
monthly.
time. So if you do spiking in the street, we would have to wait 3 days before we can actually pull the data for any specific event.
Well, it'd be very, very interesting to see. I love numbers and data, so.
Yeah, we've been looking into this for a couple years now, and finally are ready to put it in the budget and hopefully move forward and give it a go. I'll just note also, a group from the metro area came down to tour Westridge Place. They're opening a pod model facility this fall. So they were coming down to, you know, learn, you know, what lessons have you learned? What would you do different? Things like that. And then also participated in an interview with the Journal for an article on housing, which has already been in the paper, if you didn't see that. So,
It was a very nice article.
end of report. Thank you.
I'll offer a motion to accept the Economic Development Activity Report for August 2025 activities.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There being no further discussion, this meeting is adjourned.
That's why I carry a flip phone.
The address.